Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Cao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the inside. Alright, so the candidate for the upcoming general elections, the leader of opposition from the Liberal Party, Mr. Peter Dutton, has said something over the weekend, and it has, well, I don't think it actually exploded in the industry, but some of the people who doesn't really like him is really reacting in the opposite way. So let's have a look at what Peter Dutton is actually offering to the general public of Australians, and how that will actually affect the international education industry and also the immigration industry. So the Koala News, which is one of the most popular news media for the international education in Australia, has put something here just to summarize what Liberal National is proposing. And seems to be there is a very high likelihood that the Liberal National will actually take the governments after the general elections. So as you can read, it reads stricter caps on foreign students under the coalition government. So obviously we have seen the Trump effect in USA. So the right-wing politicians are coming back, and also what's happening around the world as well. So the right-wing politics is sweeping all through the globe. So as Australia, and we have seen the left-wing, it's also the Liberal Party in Canada. However, the Liberal in Canada is actually left-wing. I'm not too sure how this actually works. However, we have foreseen the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation and stepped down as a Prime Minister for Canada. And I don't think Anthony Albanese will do that, because election is coming up anyway. So there's no point to step down just a couple weeks before the election. Anyway, let's go through for the what Peter Dutton has actually offered. So what Koala News is actually saying that if the coalition elect the upcoming federal election, it will work with the major metropolitan universities, set stricter caps on foreign students, and to relieve the stress of city rental markets. So that means it's not good. It's not really good for international education. And whilst Peter Dutton was in Melbourne, and he also pitched numbers of other stuff. One of the things that he actually said, we may switch to the SBS News here, because it has a much broader view of what Peter Dutton actually announced over the weekend. Let me just shift that over a bit. So here's what Peter Dutton says he will do if he becomes the Prime Minister. So there's one of the thing that about the economics and new taxes that he will deliver, so-called the lower, simpler fare, but there's no actual detail in there about the taxations, and I think lower is expected. Why do I say that? Because Donald Trump from USA said that he will lower the corporate tax as well. So if US lowers its corporate tax, then a lot of the Western nations is required to do the same as well. Otherwise, it will not really get in line with all the other the taxation around the world, for example the global tech companies, because the tech companies, if the tax is higher, then they'll leave Australia, they'll leave Sydney. So that's basically what will happen there. So taxes will be lower, I believe, because that will take into effect just to balance up with what and compared to US. And the energy is calling about the nuclear, as you see. A lot of people is not really not familiar, or a lot of the general public of Australians doesn't really like the way they call about the nuclear. But is that the way to go? I'm not too sure about that one. But more of the stuff that we really focus on is the migration and foreign home buyer ban. So Peter Dutton has coined an idea to propose a 2-year ban on foreign investor and temporary resident to purchase existing Australian home. Is that a good idea? I'm not too sure. But what about all the pre-sales of those high-rise projects where it used to have, I can't say a lot, but it has a major partial of purchases, or is pitching to overseas investors. Would they have projects to be exempt? Construction exempt from being banned on this one. I'm not too sure how that actually go. Okay, and there will be a reduce of permanent migration program from 185,000 down to 140,000, and they will have incremental over the next 3 years. So the year afterward will be 150,000. Year 3 and year 4 will return to sustainable. So that means year 1 and 2 will be kept on 140,000, and year 3 and 4 will be increased to 150,000 and 160,000. So that's the plan there. Now another one is another policy is that they'll allow Australians to actually access to 50,000 of their superannuation to actually purchase first home. So I think that's a pretty good idea, because usually superannuation, you cannot really tap into your superannuation until you're reaching the retirement. That's usually will be a 65, 67 years of age. So if you can tap into that earlier, however, would that affect the actual superannuation when these generation got older? Don't know. I don't know. That probably will need a specialist economist to actually do those kind of calculations towards, and also impose a stricter international student cap. Now, not too sure about that one, because we saw the international student cap, the legislation was about to go through, but the last minute and last second, Peter Dutton came out and then opposed to the current proposal from the Labour government. So if he wanted to do a stricter one, current one is already killing the industry. If he wanted to do a stricter one, that means, overkill the industry. I'm not too sure how that will actually work, because he was the one came out and opposed, perhaps. Well, I think most of the politicians do that. They always oppose to the opponent's ideas, but they came out with a new idea, but basically just rename the actual proposal. So would he actually do that? Don't know. So that's basically what Peter Dutton has already framed what he will do if he becomes the Prime Minister of Australia, and how that will actually affect in the industry of international education, and also in the industry of migration. Don't know about how you feel about it. A lot of people is not really like it, but do you still want the current Labour government to continue? They have not really done well, to be honest, for the past 3 years. Do you really rely on Labour government to continue on another 3 or 4 years? Anyway, leave your comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.